Hey, and welcome everybody. Thanks for joining me over on Dragonmount. And we're going to jump right into it because I'm super excited to look at this new map that we just got from Michael Livingston over at Tor.com. Jump into talking about that, the first map I want to talk about is this one. Now, this is the OG map that is in Robert Jordan's The World of the Wheel of Time book, more affectionately known as the Big White Book, and less affectionately known as the Big White Book of Bad Art. Looking at this map, we have the Blight, that's up here at the top, and it seems like you can almost see a little bit of land that connects across. That's kind of through the border that's labeled as the Northern Ice Cap. That would be really interesting. Just a ice campaign looking through, going up into the Great Arctic, exploring what's up there. I could imagine the shadow spawn that exists in the Arctic ice cap on the Randland world. If the Blight is the border to it. Well, sorry. I'm thinking of future D&D campaigns set in the Randland world. We have the Shanshin on the western side of this map, and Randland or the Westlands on the eastern side, and Australia? Or the Land of Madmen, as is labeled on this map, in the southern portion. Now, you can see the equator. Most of Randland is actually north of the equator, which is interesting. It's a good 50-50 split for Shanshin, above and below the north and south equator. So this is the only map that we had to go on of the entire world for a long time. Now in the series, there is a map of the Shanshin that appears, just by itself in the books. Robert Jordan did answer a lot of questions about interviews, about the geography of the world, distances and stuff like that. But this was the only map that we had to go on showing physically that was published officially by Tor where all the landmasses were situated. And then we got this work of art. Now, this map is by the Elisa Mitchell. You'll know her because she drew the original maps for the Wheel of Time. Now, honestly, this map is just beautiful. I love how the compass rose is in the center there, and it's got the Raven, it's nearest Shanshin, so, maybe our Hawkwing, that's pretty cool. And Shanshin is way bigger, we see on this map. Especially that southern portion is it's almost 75% bigger, one would say. But it looks great. The detail is fantastic. And again, man, that northern ice cap is just so cool. It just drives my brain crazy trying to imagine the shadow spawn existing near that northern ice cap. It would be so cool to see. Now, also on here, you'll notice is the Madlands, formerly the Island of Madmen. Now, all we knew about that land from the Big White Book was that it was a land that was known for producing incredibly chaotic men who can channel, and it was labeled as such. But as Michael Livingston revealed to us in his latest article on Tor.com, was that Robert Jordan literally just blatantly said when he was giving feedback on the Big White Book, the Land of Madmen is wrong, period. That was a direct quote from a letter that he sent to the editors when they were going over that book. And apparently it never got changed. One of the other big things was that he said, again, a direct quote, the Shanshin is wrong. And it should go further south and be 75% wider below the equator. So that's interesting. That's a huge difference to the geography of the world. One other thing I want to mention about the Big White Book specifically was that it wasn't written entirely by Robert Jordan. It was also written by Teresa Patterson at the time. Now, one thing that's baked into the lore of the book itself is that the book itself is notes that were kept by a brown sister as she understood them. So, they could be wrong. They could just, not have all of the information. And I like the way that was done because it set up a fact that this book could be wrong. I mean, first of all, this book was only written when part of the series was out, so the entire series wasn't done. This is obviously also before he passed away. When the Big White Book was published, the most recent book that had come out was A Crown of Swords. So Path of Daggers hadn't even been published yet. There's a lot of information from Path of Daggers up to Knife of Dreams after Robert Jordan passed away that is not even anywhere near included in these books. So I like how they kind of set up in the book's own lore that, what may be contained in this book might be wrong. So it's very interesting. Anyway, I'm super excited to get my hands on the Origins of the Wheel of Time by Michael Livingston. And if you haven't done so already, please go check out Michael Livingston's other works. They're absolutely fantastic. I love his fantasy series, Shards of Heaven. And if you're also a history nerd like myself, go and read his academic works as well. He is just a genius and a lovely man. I love seeing him speak. He's hilarious. I'm so excited that we're going to get a chance to talk to him in November. Look out for a date for that. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next time.
And that's our show. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, please subscribe, hit the like button, give us a thumbs up, or leave us a comment. We love comments, especially positive ones. And if you have any friends that are interested in the Wheel of Time, please share some of our videos with them. And as always, a huge thank you to our sponsor, Tor Books, as well as our amazing Patreon community. And if you are interested in learning about how more of this show is made or some Wheel of Time insights, you too can become a member of the Patreon community. And as always, follow us on Dragonmount with social media. And thank you so much for watching.